The list of overflooded and almost useless courses in Kenya will make some of you angry, but I have to share this that you can save your money and time before you get into a course that will make you tarmac for the rest of your lives. If you're already studying the courses that I'm going to mention, I'll be giving you 4 tips that you must do so that when you finish your studies, you are not among the people that will be looking for jobs without success. Welcome to EduSens Africa. I bring you weekly videos about your educational and career journey to help you understand your options, to know what is happening currently in the job market, and to ensure that as you transition from education to career, you actually understand what you are getting into and you do something that aligns with you. In today's tough and competitive job market, we have to be really intentional about understanding the courses you are choosing at the university or in the colleges so that you don't end up spending your money and your time studying things that are very overcrowded. There are very many people and there are no jobs, or there are very limited opportunities. I'm sharing with you 5 courses that are currently overcrowded in Kenya, so that if you really want to do these courses, you are aware of the current situation and you take the necessary steps that will enable you to thrive in this career once you get into the job market. The number 1 course is mass communication and journalism. Gone are the days where people were dependent on the traditional media and there are very many jobs just waiting for people to graduate so that they can be employed in the TV stations, radio stations, and so on. Nowadays, things have gone digital and social media has taken up this space. We have lots of people creating content on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok without ever having a degree or a diploma in any of these courses. So if you're thinking of going into mass communication and journalism, first of all, understand what really you want to achieve out of it and know that it is crowded with lots of graduates and fewer jobs. If you really want to pursue it, you definitely have the option to do so, but you have to be creative on how you'll be able to get a job or create a job in this field. The second course on the list is Bachelor of Arts. We are talking about political science, sociology, and so on. These are courses that are honestly overcrowded in Kenya currently, with so many graduates but very little opportunities. Does it mean that you should not do this course? Absolutely not. What needs to happen is that you need to understand you will not make it by simply going to do the degree and coming out of it and expecting someone to hand you a job. You must do things that will make you stand out by combining these courses with extra skills such as data analysis, technical skills, digital skills, things that traditionally you will not be able to study when you do the course alone at the university or in the colleges. So if you're thinking about going into this course, just know that there are very many graduates with little jobs and you must do something special for you to stand out and to get a job at the end of it all. Now remember to watch to the very end of this video because I'll be giving tips for those people who are already in these courses or who are seriously considering getting into these pathways, so that even if you go there, you can stand out and you can get a job despite the fact that there are very many graduates in this field. The third overcrowded field in Kenya currently is criminology and security management. Now, if you're doing these courses hoping that you will get employment in the KDF or maybe police sector in Kenya, you need to think seriously because we all understand what goes on for us to get jobs in some of these sectors. It is more than just the degree or the paper. There's a lot more that goes behind the scenes. The private sector is also saturated and you find that most people that get jobs must absolutely have connections or know someone that will connect them to get to these positions. So if you're thinking of going into criminology or security studies, stick to the end of this video so that you can understand how you can actually stand out and still thrive despite the fact that the field is currently saturated. The fourth field that has so many graduates with very little jobs currently is Bachelor of Commerce and Business Administration. Yes, guys, believe it or not, there are very many universities and institutions producing graduates in this sector, but there are currently fewer jobs absorbing these graduates. However, this is an area that if you're creative enough and you're able to think outside the box, you can create something for yourself and use the skills that you study at school. So just stick around to the end so that I can tell you what you need to do if you're planning to do Bachelor of Commerce or Business Administration. The fifth course on the list is hospitality management. Now, I know, guys, that Kenya is a tourist destination and there are very many hotels, hospitals, schools, but believe me or not, hospitality management, you making it to become a manager, is actually already saturated. By the time you make it to get to that position where you'll be a manager, it will take you years, and it means that the current workforce must have retired for you to make it to these positions. So if you're planning to get into hospitality management, you need to be aware that you're not going to finish and immediately get a job, because there are very many graduates that are already in the market, and you need to do something special to stand out. And this is where we get to that something special that you need to do. The first thing is, please specialize and stop being a generalist. Whichever course you're doing, try and take an area where you can specialize in and get the skills specifically for this area, because you will stand out if they compare you to someone who's just done the general course. With so many graduates out in the field, something has to be special about you to be able to get jobs that are currently available. The second thing that you must do is you need to add extra skills such as technical skills, data analysis skills, digital skills, because these are things that many people nowadays know regardless of their career path. If you're doing a course that is already saturated with people, so many graduates and very little jobs, they'll be looking at skills that will make you stand out, so that in case there's a need in your area, you can easily adjust and you can do the tasks that would otherwise not be within your docket traditionally. So make sure that as you're doing your course, add some skills on top, do some courses in digital skills or technical skills so that you can be able to stand out. The third thing you need to do is you need to put yourself out there and look for jobs in unexpected areas. You know, traditionally we used to wait for companies that they can post jobs, and then we apply, we write a CV, or we even send a letter and we wait for them to write back to us. Nowadays, things are not working like that. There are so many people looking for jobs and very few jobs that they will only look for people that are aggressively looking for these positions. We have things like LinkedIn, for example. You need to have a profile in there. You need to have content that is helping you stand out from the rest of the crowd. You also need to consider ways like walking into a company and asking for that job right there and then in person, without waiting for them to post for that position, because the moment they'll be posting, they will most likely have already gotten someone to fill that position. Now, the last thing that you must absolutely do if you are already studying or planning to get into these courses that are already saturated is think about gaining the skills and creating the job. It's not always about you waiting to be employed, but rather you can think outside the box and come up with an idea based on the skills you have acquired, so that you can create a job that will also employ other people or just make you be an auto-entrepreneur. So start thinking outside the box as soon as now if you're already in the university or in the college doing this course, because it will come in handy when you start looking for jobs and you're not able to get employment. You can start something that will actually thrive. I hope that you found this video useful. If so, please share it out to someone that may find it informative as well, because you never know, you might just change someone's life when it comes to their career. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.